Joining me now from New York is Manny Anekal. He's a esports expert and founder of Versus Consulting and the website The Next Level. So Manny, we see here Tencent in the company of Apple, Amazon, and past Facebook. So how significant is this milestone, especially when you look across the global tech landscape?
I think it's extremely significant. $500 billion is sort of this magic number that we put and assign to tech companies in the space. And for Tencent to emerge as the first Asian company to come in and cross that threshold, to be in the likes of a Facebook, of an Apple, and a Google, and an Amazon is actually, extremely impressive. And while, Tencent may have, increased its market cap over Facebook yesterday, Facebook did come back today and nudge a little bit ahead. But I think it's really impressive that Tencent has crossed this $500 billion mark, and it's really pretty amazing for a company that's really a gaming company at heart.
Well, I want to ask you about that because we've seen this rapid growth even in the last few years. What has led to its success? Of course, everyone knows about WeChat, but as you mentioned, gaming is what drew billions in revenue last quarter alone. Honor of Kings, tell me more about that.
Yeah, Honor of Kings is the #1 mobile game in the world. China right now, in the last report that I saw, has about 50 million people playing this game on a daily basis. To put that in perspective, that would be like the entire country of South Korea playing one game every single day. So it's absolutely massive. But if you look at the gaming numbers in terms of what it contributed to Tencent's third quarter revenues, they did overall revenues of about $10 billion, and about half of that came from the gaming sector. So that's $5 billion they made off their gaming market, which was Honor of Kings, had a huge contribution to that market value. And if you look at that $5 billion number, how does that compare? If you look at the third quarter revenues from both Activision Blizzard, EA, Take-Two, and Ubisoft combined, that $5 billion actually beats that. So, Tencent is actually the world's largest gaming company when you really consider it that way.
And how do you explain that when you see other companies like Facebook, you see that platform has games available on it as well? I see invitations from all these people asking me to join in. How do you make that comparison?
Well, as someone like myself who actually used to work at Zynga, and we built our platform on the Facebook platform and exploded, 10 years ago. Facebook is it still is the world's largest messaging platform overall. And while WeChat may have 1 billion users, Facebook has that across obviously WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So you can't count Facebook out. But I think the real big issue is really mobile. And that's where Facebook lost out in the gaming market, is not having that transition to mobile, where other companies like Supercell, like Tencent has done with Honor of Kings, has taken off. And if you go to China, you go to anywhere in the world, mobile is really the dominant platform. And even Facebook, once they changed their entire business model to revolve around mobile, now I think the majority of their revenue, of their advertising, comes from the mobile side. So mobile has been the defining factor in terms of moving this market and really driving the entire revenue forward for Tencent and a lot of companies overall.
And what do you make of Tencent's investment in foreign tech companies like Tesla and Snap? Is that part of a larger strategy? Is that something that all these companies are doing, is investing in each other?
No, that's a great question. The way that I look at that is that really for Tencent to get a piece of the pie in the Western market, a foothold in the Western market through their investments, but more importantly, they could learn from a lot of these companies and also share knowledge of what they've learned in terms of their WeChat platform that they built in China. To have 1 billion people using the WeChat platform, and for people who don't know, you can do everything from, besides just chatting and messaging like you normally find on your social platforms and your networks, you can do everything from tip street musicians to pay your bills to buying movie tickets online. So WeChat is really, truly fantastic phenomenon in China. And you see a huge amount of usage across the board, from the youngers all the way up to their grandparents as well.
All right, Manny Anekal, thank you so much for joining us from New York.
Thank you so much for having me.